Hello everyone, this is Palaster, and today I am going to be showcasing my mod for Minecraft, Blood Bank. It's a mod that's still work in progress on the Curse Forge as a download site, and today I'm going to explain to you how the progression system in Blood Bank works, because there is no in-game documentation, and it will drive many people to insanity trying to figure out what the hell all these things are. So, I'm going to make a short guide explaining how these things work. First thing is with Blood Bank is the ability to become a Blood Mage, and we're going to show you that first. If we look at the bank contract in JEI, which is a helpful add-on that works with all my recipes. If we take a look at it, it's 8 paper and a netherrack, and you get the bank contract. If we use it in World, we see that we get a message that says, "Welcome to the Blood Bank." You start with a max balance of 2,000. And when you use it, you notice you get yourself a bank ID. This is very important, and you should keep it. So whenever you use this bank ID in the world, you see that for one, it disappears, and two, you get this little creature. He is your bank teller. Right-clicking on him will tell you what your current balance is. If you shift right-click him, he will disappear and give you back your bank ID. So we're going to place him back and just leave him in the world. It's fun to know. Next thing is generating blood. How do you do that? So first of all, we're going to need a vampire sigil, which is created with 4 stone, 4 emeralds, and rotten flesh. And we're going to need any sword. So I'm going to take a diamond sword, place the vampire sigil in your offhand, and main a sword of any type, and get some sort of accomplice to help you in your endeavors, like a pig, and we're just going to kill him. And now if we check back at our bank tender, we have blood. But you can also get blood from yourself. If you right-click with the diamond sword, or any sword with the vampire sigil in your offhand, you will take damage. And every time you take damage, you get a bit of blood. So now we have 314 out of 2,000. Next thing we need to get, that's very important, is the blood bottle. It has no crafting recipe, so how do you get it? Take a glass bottle. Make sure that in your current balance you have 2,000 blood. We're gonna just hurry up and get there. Just spam it. And now you have 2,000. Now, with the glass bottle, you right-click on the teller and you get a blood bottle. If you right-click on them again, you see that your balance has drained because it takes 2,000 blood points to make a blood bottle. So what can you do with this blood bottle? Well, if we take another vampire sigil, take our diamond sword and put it into an anvil. Make sure that we have the levels necessary to do the crafting. Which I'm just going to get bottle enchanting. Alright. So we do this, and now we see that our diamond sword has a vampire sigil attached underneath the attack damage modifier. When we click on this and put it back in our inventory, it will damage the blood bottle, taking some of the blood to repair itself. This can be used with other only items that are damageable, and our max stack is 1. I think it can also be done without armor. Next thing we're going to show is whatever blood mage you're going to need spells. So we're going to make ourselves the bloody book, which is 8 paper and another one of those vampire sigils, which you've noticed it has a blood cost of 500. What does that mean? So if we were to go and get ourselves a crafting table like this and place it down in the world and then try to craft it, and as soon as we pull the item out, we will supposedly have taken damage, but since we had the blood in the bank, it did not hurt us. But normally, if we did not have that, we would have taken damage equal to the amount of blood it would have required to craft it. Actually, no, that's not what happened. It did not take it from the blood bank. I forgot about this. It took it from the blood bottle. We can see that there's a significant little decrease. Not significant, but a noticeable decrease in our blood bottle. So now, with our bloody book, we will do spells. So first one, we get ourselves a participant. It's called Boiling Blood. In the top left corner, you can see which spell is currently active. And when we do so, we're going to right-click our little participant, and he will immediately set on fire. This time, though, we did not have any blood in the bank, and it does not prioritize the blood bottle, so it took from our health, causing us to take a little bit of damage, but he died in the making. Next thing we have is the Blood Link, which is still a work in progress. Bound armor, which will kill you immediately because the amount of blood it requires is more than our maximum amount. So, for instance, if we were to use it, we would have died of blood loss. So I'm going to collect all my items. As we can see, though, if you look, you can see the bound armor pieces, but if you pick them up, they disappear because they are not supposed to happen. Alright. We also have Blood Hive, which is work in progress. Undead Summon, which is cool, which summons an undead player. The next thing in our mod to look for are the staffs. These different staffs, the Skeleton Staff, the Staff of Time, Voidwalker, Hungry Shadows, crafted like so, also have a blood cost. So now if we take one of these, we're going to take the Skeleton Staff, and if we press the hotkey to change the staff power, which is U by default, it will change in the top left corner. You'll notice it says active power, and currently it's Wither Skeleton. You can change between that and a normal skeleton. And if we were right-click in the world, we get one of these, the Skeleton Minion. I'm going to set it to night so he doesn't burn out. We're going to make a few of these. You can make as many as you want. As you know, as you notice, the staff is taking damage, but quickly being repaired by the blood bottle, because some items natively are vampiric and are able to suck blood to repair themselves. So as we notice, we now have a little gaggle here of skeleton minions. And now we're going to take another willing participant and hit him once. As you notice, all skeletons take bows and are now shooting at each other because one of them hit the other. We're going to do that. They're now dead and now shooting at each other because one of them had the unfortunate of hitting each other. He's not just following because he's done his job. I just want that to end. So that's the skeleton staff. And that's much about the blood magic side. There's still a little bit more to show in the blood bank, blood mage type progression wheel, but I'm gonna leave that for you to discover. Next thing, the other side of this table is being undead, and I'm going to show you how to become one. Inventory. We're gonna need ourselves an urn, which is crafted with 3 nether brick and a fire charge. Once we have one, we simply right click, and as you notice, I died instantly, which is what it's supposed to do. It kills you, and as you notice, it says in chat, you have become an atrocity and we revoke your bank membership. The moment you do that, you become undead, you are no longer a part of the bank system. So if we try to go back to our bank teller, he will tell you you do not have an account with this bank. So watch out if you want to stay a blood mage. Do not become undead, because you will not be able to go back at this point in time. So now we're undead. What can we do? Well, let's start off with grabbing a bonfire, which is crafted with 4 wood, fire charge, 4 torches. We're going to place it down in the world, and it doesn't really do much by itself. But, for instance, we will get ourselves a clock. if we right click on the bonfire with the clock, we get something called the Undead Monitor. When we right click, it opens up a little menu here. It shows you all your basic stats and how much souls and focus you have. And currently, when you first open it, you get free levels to adjust for the first 5 levels you achieve. But for your levels to stick and for you to buy things, you have to be in the vicinity of a bonfire. If we go too far out, for instance, and we right click, it will tell us the bonfire is not found and we will not be able to level any of these things up. So as we get closer, we'll grab 1 in Vigor, 1 in Attunement, and 1 in Strength. And we'll just voice out. So now we got 9 levels. We can now see that the soul cost is 89 for the next level up. We don't have any, so how do we get these? Well, we're going to take our willing participants again, and we're going to kill them. We're going to try to kill them before they do, but, So now, as we kill those 4 pigs, we now have 40 souls in our inventory, in our total. So if we kill, let's see, I'm trying to get to 89 so I can show you that. There's a level up. They killed each other because one of them hit me. So now we have 110, we get back to this thing, we'll put another one in Strength, which will boost your attack damage. Vigor increases your health, you can see I have a half heart. An additional attunement gives you more focus. Intelligent Faith are work in progress, they don't do anything, so do not waste your spell, your levels, and any of your souls on leveling that up. These 3 top ones are the main ones. Next, we're going to need is an anvil again. Actually, no, not an anvil. We will need an anvil, but we're going to get ourselves a fire charge. We're then going to right click on the bonfire and we get something called flames. Now with flames, what we're able to do is attach spells to the flames. Currently there is only 2, and one of them is a debug that you can't get, which is this one. This one though, Sacred Flame, which works. You can find it from villagers, the magic villagers from my mod that sells them for emeralds. So how do we equip it? We put flames and a sacred flame in the spell together in an anvil and we use it. So as we notice though, but if we were to use it on anything, it wouldn't do anything because we do not have any focus. We have 0. So how do you get this focus? Well, first of all, we're gonna get a glass bottle. We're going to right-click it on the bonfire, and now, as you see, we now have an Estus flask. With the total amount of times it can be used as 5, as we see, and if you shift right-click, it changes color in your inventory. The blue one becomes an Ashen Estus flask, which, if you right-click and use it, will replenish your focus amount. The orange one, when it's just an Estus flask and you use it, you will regain roughly 4 hearts of health. Let's see this in action. We get instant damage. And now if we use it, you see we quickly, with 2 uses, replenished it. Now with our having 1 amount left, how do you recharge it? Well, right click again on a bonfire and you get your total amount back, 5. Next thing I want to show you from the undead are called tokens. Doesn't have a crafting recipe. Does not have a crafting recipe, but it does have its uses. It's used to make other types of tokens, items, and boss tokens mainly. So how do we get one of these tokens? Well, we take a gold ingot and we right click on the bonfire. As we see, we now have a blank token, which we can then use to create boss tokens and item tokens. I'm not going to create the boss token. I'll let you figure out what that does. Hint, hint, right click, craft it, right click it on the bonfire. So now I'm going to craft the item token, which is 2 vampire sigils and then 2 diamond swords. and 4 rotten flesh. Take our token, put the items, and now we have our item token. So with these tokens, any one of them, you will then, after creating them, you will right click on the bonfire and it will do whatever you want. For bosses, it will spawn them on the bonfire. For items, it will just give you the item. So this is the item that we get from that certain token, which is called the Leecher. The Leecher is a sword that whenever you kill mobs, it will get stronger. And it's also, if you have a glass bottle in your inventory, it will also refill that bottle very slowly, and only every now and then you will get a small amount of blood, which is the way for non-blood mages to acquire blood. Cool. So now we're going to talk about the just a little miscellaneous stuff we have in our mod. We're going to look at the Void Anchor, which is 4 obsidian, 4 ender pearls, and an inner chest. When we place this down in the world, and we're going to create a small hole to the void. If we were to throw any items in there, like our sword, new sword, a whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff, we would just toss it in there. Normally, all those items would have died and you would have lost them forever. Not anymore. With the Void Anchor, we open it up and we can see that all those items were caught. The Void Anchor captures all items that fall into the void in that world. So if you want this to work outside of the overworld, you will need a Void Anchor there. So take this and pick it back up. Cool block. Next is the Community Tools, which is created with 4 emeralds, 4 blocks of quartz, and a chest. When we place this down in the world, we right click it again to bind it to the player, the master player. Whenever this is a community tool, this block is mainly used for servers as to help many people who are working together on a server to work hand in hand without causing issues. So what it does is the community tools has 1 item slot. You can't see because it has no GUI. I'm right clicking on it. When you right click with any item that has a max stack size of 1, it will take it from that player, from the player who bound it to him. Now, if any other player were to come and right click, they will get a ghost item of that item that will stay in their inventory for a certain amount of time before disappearing, which allows players to efficiently borrow items from each other without somebody borrowing it, forgetting they have it on them, and then leaving the server, causing rage on anyone who ended up needing that item. And then if the person who bound it wants it back, just right click again and you'll get it back. Next on is the TNT Absorber, which is created with 3 TNT, 3 water bottles, and a ender pearl. Let's place it in the world. Cool little model. Alright, so what this does is if we take TNT and a lever, place it down, and we try to explode it, it just disappears. Where'd it go? The TNT Absorber absorbs TNT explosives, TNT prime TNT that's about to go off, and it also absorbs explosion. So if we have Creeper, grab a Creeper, place him. Let me turn off peaceful mode for this to work. We see our Creeper. He's getting angry. He's going to explode. He was outside of our truck boundaries. That's why. Crap. If it was a farm. Yes, it is. So immediately right here is the truck boundary. So now what we're going to do is do a Creeper here. This time, alright? Now if it tries, you see... Well, that's a bug. That's why it's work in progress. Last thing I'm going to show before we're going to call this a showcase is the resurrection system. It's a really cool system. Yeah, some inventory, some pigs. For this, you're going to need a ghost whisper and a resurrection stone. the Ghost Whisperer you can use multiple times, so you only need one. Resurrection Stone, you'll need multiple of them for as many times as you would like to use it. Ghost Whisperer is for diamonds, glass, and soul sand. Resurrection Stone is for emeralds, nether star, soul sand. And what you can do with these is if you right-click the Ghost Whisperer, you can see that a whole bunch of chat messages appeared that's saying you hear the whispers of pigs, skeleton minions, because those have all died in our world. Whenever a creature dies, it lingers for 7 Minecraft days before it completely passes on. And during that time period, you can take the Resurrection Stone and shift right-click, and it'll choose whatever it was. So, for instance, a pig. You can use the Resurrection Stone and bring it back to life. And this is not just any pig. This is that pig that had died. This to the same value. So if we would have attached a name, which we were about to, name tag. Let's call it Bob. Give it to the pig, and if we kill him again, because this will be his second time dying, and we use the Ghost Whisperer, you can see that you hear the whispers of Bob, which is our pig. So if we go back to the Resurrection Stone, and now we have dead entity selected as Bob. If we were to use the Resurrection Stone, as we can see, this pig's name is Bob. This is the exact same pig that has died. He has been brought back twice. This is his third life. So, this list will empty out every 7 Minecraft days, so you have that long to bring back anything you need. And that will be the end of this showcase for my mod, Blood Bank. A good start to get anyone progressing. There's still other things to be explored. Some of the different staffs on what they do. Different items. Worm Eater, some souls, and what they do. Well, that's wrapping it up. This has been Palaster, and we will see you next time.